Okay, I got something super cool and I wanted to show it to you guys. It's in pieces right now. It was whole when I got it, and then I started cleaning it. But sorry about the wind. I got this bad boy right here. This is a 1968. There's the number on it right there. What was it? 411. I don't know if you can see it there. 4118-S. Okay, this is a Holley carburetor, and it's a rare Holley carburetor. And you're probably asking yourself, what makes this rare? I'm going to tell you in a minute what makes that rare. So that is a 4. Here we go. Now you can see it. 4118-S carb with matching blocks, metering blocks. I can open this up. I'm doing this one-handed, guys, sorry. And this is going on my truck. This is from 1968, the muscle car era. And if you look right here on the block, there is the 4118 and the secondary side metering block right here. Also, oh, there we go, 4118. So this body and those two metering blocks are all together. This whole carburetor was all complete. So anyway, I've been cleaning it and working on it. And what this is this is from a 1968 GT350 Mustang, a Shelby Mustang. These are very rare carbs. There's only like 1,400 of them left, or made. I don't know how many are left. And this came across on Marketplace, so I had to have it. This, the CFM on this thing is 725 CFM, and Shelby helped design or help modify this for from Holley to fit the GT Mustangs. So this thing is a powerhouse when it comes to what do you call it, the Holley carbs. Also, which is super cool about it, if you look at the boosters, see how they slant down? Mine just come straight out. Mine are actually higher on my 670. The reason why these are so important is because these are designed for a aluminum intake. So if you have a cast iron intake, your boosters are typically straight out. Reason for that is because the carburetor receives enough heat to help atomize the fuel and air mix. Well, when you have an aluminum intake, having down boosters actually help. So they're all facing down, and that right there takes the heat from the what heat is there from the aluminum intake and helps atomize it for more power. The mapping on these two blocks is completely different from an over-the-counter carburetor, which makes it amazing. So I'm going to build this particular carburetor for my 351 that has the Cobra rocker arms, the 1.7. You guys saw the whole thing, so I'm not going to get into that. So I'm actually kind of putting parts and pieces together, and I'm going to what do you call it there? So the 725 top and the sides here, the metering blocks, are going to go together with the kit, and then I'm going to use probably going to use my other bowls because they're a little bigger. They hold a little bit more fuel, but these all have metal floats, the brass floats, they're copper floats. So I have those. I do have to replace that shaft because this carburetor will not directly work on my truck because I have an automatic overdrive, which was not a thing back in the day. So on the throttle plate lever, this is the whole mechanism right here. It doesn't have the provisions for the kickdown that I have, my particular style, and I don't want to go to a cable. I could use this port right here where my thumb is for the for the kickdown cable, but I'm not going to. Also has a black, looks like a black cam right there. So this cam profile right here on the Holleys, this right here is what the what do you call it there, accelerator pump rides on. Okay, that arm that's on this throttle plate right here rides on the cam, and the profile of that determines how aggressive and how not aggressive it's going to throw fuel at it. So this thing is all set up for a GT Shelby Mustang. So I'm going to put it back with with that in mind. And then a couple of things we're going to have to do to this thing is obviously make it electronic choke and make it adapt so that it fits the truck that I have. So from 1968 to 1986, I think this is going to be one hell of an upgrade. So I can't wait to see what this is going to be like. And once again, this is a 725. So typically, if you're looking for like an over-the-counter carburetor, you would just take your cubic inches and what do you call it there, double them. But in this case, because of my build and because of the airflow that I have and the fact that this is designed for the 289 hypo or the 351 what do you call it there that came in that Mustang, this right here is going to work absolutely perfect, and it's going to give me a boatload of power, so I can't wait to use it. Anyway guys, thank you for watching, and I'm going to finish this off camera because I got a lot of little, it's going to be intricate. So I might do a video on another carburetor, but I'm not doing it on this one. I'm not sure what parts and pieces I'm using, so it's kind of a, I know I'm using the body and those 2 metering blocks, but I don't know what plate I'm using. I don't know what bowls I'm using, so I got a lot of stuff to figure out. Anyway guys, I'll be back. Okay, all right, so we are back. So this is the 4118-S right there, and the matching metering blocks right there. This is once again from a 1968 Shelby GT 500. It is a 725 CFM, and this right here was is going on the truck. A couple things I had to do to it to modify it to work on my truck is I actually had to replace the secondaries on it, because the one that was on here was cracked. It looked like it might have fallen on this side over here. So I had an extra one. I converted over to electronic choke. So from 68 to 86, I had to make it so I could use my electric choke setup. I also changed out the choke right here, and you can see how it's got this big opening here. That's anti-flood choke. So I always opt for that type of style choke. A lot of people don't know what that is right there. The choke works, but it allows air to flow through even when the choke is fully on. So it's like a more 3/4 choke, New, what do you call it there? Float adjusters. The carburetor was missing the idle mixture screws, so I put new ones of those in. That's all set. And the biggest thing I had to do to this is just basically it was already pretty clean for the most part. I did clean the inside of it, and some of the outside. You can see this is clean. Nothing's coming off of it. It just stained from sitting on a shelf for 100 years. This has the down boosters right there, where the regular ones come out straight. Like I said, everything on this one is the metering. The metering, that is where the fuel is introduced into the carb, and it is mapped out different than a regular standard Holley, which makes this one so special. Also too, you'll find that there is no vacuum port right here for the ignition timing. And that is done right here. Right there. That is port timing, not manifold timing. So that's super cool. Definitely unique to this carb. But the one big thing I had to do and change out, I had to change out the throttle assembly. And the reason for that is mine has overdrive, so I need this little guy right here. Right there for the overdrive transmission. And the one in 1968 didn't have that. Even on the automatics, they didn't have that provisions for that because that wasn't a thing back then. Here's what the throttle plate looked, the throttle arm looked like back in '68. That was what it looked like. So we changed out the rod, the throttle plate. Remember, you have to use the throttle plate screws because if you use regular screws, they can easily back out. Throttle plate screws will not. Even you don't even want to Loctite them. You want to use the brass ones that come with it because they're the way to go. And never reuse throttle blade screws. You could, but you're better off to change them. So that's all been done. So next step is to put this what do you call it there, GT500 carb on a 350 on my 351. This came off of a Hypo 289 or a 351 of that 1968. They used this carb on the 427, so it's gone from the Hypo 289 all the way up to the 427. So this carb Shelby design carb for Holley is going to be a real nice masterpiece on that truck. So we'll see what we can do with that. I'll talk to you guys later. We'll install this and then I'll do some setup videos on it because the floats are not set up. So I'm going to show you how to set those up on the vehicle. The one thing I do set up prior to that is the play on the, what do you call it there, on the accelerator pump, because if you do not have this, if it's too loose, you'll have a bog or a hesitation. If it's too tight, it'll just it'll bottom out. So, oh, and the other thing that's unique to this carburetor is the cam that they use on this. It's like a blackish gray cam that they use for the throttle acceleration. So should be real fun to drive. The throttle plates underneath this thing are also very large. So this thing's gonna flow air. It's gonna be crazy. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. I'm out.